Live from KSAT 12, the Nightbeat starts right now.
My family was confirmed deceased, and ever since then, I kind of been in a fight or flight and fight mode.
His family of 7 now down to just 2 after a fatal crash in Comal County. Today they were laid to rest, and we learned more about each of the victims who died.
The damage side of it has been, a lot to deal with for sure.
The cold didn't last long, but the damage left behind is still leaving an impact. We stopped by the Hill Country to see the efforts still happening as folks continue to clean up. And a Chinese spy balloon shot down by the U.S. military, and now Chinese officials have responded. We have the timeline and what the U.S. is planning to do next. But first, tonight, 5 members of a family are in their final resting place after being killed in a crash in Comal County. We've been following this story for you since the crash happened back on January 22nd. In total, 7 people died. A 12-year-old girl is the sole survivor from that crash. The Night Team's Lee Waldman spoke with her now guardian and eldest brother, who says he's trying to do the best he can to make his parents proud.
Nancy Olivera Gonzalez, she really loved to do party decorations. That was her side entrepreneur thing. But she was my mom and my dad.
Lose father in one family seems almost impossible.
Nearly 2 weeks after losing his mom, stepdad, 2 brothers, and younger sister, Hector Daniel Jaimes is honoring them.
Christian, he has autism, but that didn't stop him. He's always happy, going around saying hi to everyone. He's Diego. He likes soccer, Roblox. Zia, we call her Julieta. That's her middle name. She was like my mom in a way.
Loved ones filled the chapels of the Castillo Funeral Home, each holding on to one another as they mourned.
Albertino Vera Gonzalez, having a stepdad, I was distant with him, but over time we got to talk every now and then. So I could say he is my dad.
12-year-old Mia Olvera Gonzalez is the sole survivor of the crash that killed everyone else in the car with her and the 2 people in the other vehicle. She's home from the hospital in a wheelchair and needs extensive physical therapy.
Mia's a strong 12-year-old girl, but I'll probably cry more than her, and I'll tell her hey, it's okay to cry.
Jaimes is her guardian now, promising to be mom and dad to her. He says he'll draw on their mom's memory and strength to get them through the hard times ahead.
It's a long journey ahead, but I'm gonna get through it. No matter how hard it is, no matter how many bad days, I gotta do it for my family.
Jaimes says the Department of Public Safety is still investigating the crash and what caused it. According to their initial report, the driver of the other vehicle hit Jaimes' family's car. Back to you.
Thank you, Lee. The Bexar County Medical Examiner's Office is working to determine the identity of a man who was shot outside of his downtown apartment overnight. That shooting happened just after 11 p.m. on McCullough Avenue, not far from I-35. When San Antonio police arrived, they found a blood trail which led them to the victim. He was pronounced dead at the scene. So far, no arrests have been made. A family is without a home tonight after it was deemed a total loss following a fire this morning. Firefighters responded to a call around 10 a.m. on Kenmar Drive, not far from I-10 and East Houston Street. The homeowners were home at the time of the fire. They all made it out safely. The fire is believed to have started in a bedroom and then spread to the attic. Fire officials say they were able to get the fire knocked down pretty fast, but the home was still left with extensive damage. Around Texas now, we are learning more information about the arrest of a man accused of being involved in the kidnapping of 2 monkeys from the Dallas Zoo. We first told you about the arrest last night on the Nightbeat. 24-year-old Davian Irvin is now charged with burglary and 6 counts of animal cruelty. Officials got a big break in that case following a tip that the monkeys may be in an empty church. The pastor's daughter says she walked into the church and they found the monkeys inside a nearly freezing closet.
They're in a medical quarantine right now to make sure that they settle back in, that they regain some weight, and that the stress of their theft and removal from known habitat doesn't have longer lasting effects on them.
Irvin is also being investigated for a possible connection for a clouded leopard disappearance and damage to its cage from earlier last month. Dallas Zoo says they are working to increase security and add more patrols to make sure nothing like this happens again. Well, the impact was low for most of Bexar County, but the same can't be said for more people up in the hill country. This week's ice and cold affecting streets and trees and leaving a lot of debris behind. The cleanup continues after ice covered the hill country earlier this week. The night team's Camille Juarez stopped by Bulverde today. The people there telling her the cleanup is an all hands on deck situation.
This is what the streets of Bulverde sound like. Chainsaws cutting branches, hauling leaves, and branches snapping.
The damage side of it has been, a lot to deal with for sure.
The ice from the freeze earlier this week weighed down tree branches, causing many to crack. Some branches landed on power lines, causing outages across the hill country. The Pedernales Electric Cooperative outage map shows crews are still working to restore power north of Bulverde.
There's so much more damage involved in that and what the ice can do versus just the snow.
As the lights come back on, Bulverde homeowners like Jimmy Hayden are working around the clock to clean up the mess.
So working pretty much all day yesterday, and it's been all day today cutting and hauling and dealing with it.
Cleaning up a large yard with at least a dozen trees is a big job, but friends and neighbors work together, sharing trailers and providing an extra hand.
This is how Texans are, we just help each other out.
Walker Hayden says they started Thursday. Finding the right equipment was the first challenge. Home Depot was low on tree trimmers and chainsaws.
It was like a madhouse. There was people everywhere. And luckily, me and him got to pick up the last two that they had on the shelves.
After 2 full days of cutting and compressing trees, Hardy says tomorrow they will wrap up and take the debris to a drop-off site.
Tree branches can be brought here to the Comal County Recycling Center. It's a temporary, no-fee drop-off site that's going to be operational now until next Saturday. Camille Juarez, KSAT 12 News.
Meanwhile, a disaster declaration is now in place for several counties in Texas following that ice storm. Governor Greg Abbott making that announcement earlier today. The declaration is for the 7 counties you see there on your screen. The areas ranging from Austin to Dallas to northeast Texas near the Louisiana border. This move will allow for assistance from local officials to repair damaged infrastructure, debris removal, and damage assessments. Still quite a bit of a mess out there.
Yep, absolutely.
A lot to really clean up as we continue moving forward. Thankfully, the warming trend has really been a big theme of this weekend, and we're going to see that continue as we head into the beginning of next week as well. We started off this morning with some areas of fog out there, even some low-level clouds, and then this afternoon we saw a few more peaks of sunshine, really helping our temperatures warm. We had a low of 37, so it was still cold, but an afternoon high of 62 officially here in San Antonio. Temperatures right now falling pretty good just because we do have mostly clear skies still in place. We're in the 40s and a few low 50s out there still this 10 p.m. hour. As we head into the overnight, temperatures falling into the upper 30s, low to mid 40s across south central Texas to kickstart our Sunday. Some more areas of patchy fog, some of which could be dense in spots, are expected for early morning plans, and then we'll continue that warming trend. Daytime highs in the upper 60s and low 70s. We'll get you a full look at what we're expecting into next week and also talk about some rain chances coming up here in just a few.
Forward to it. Thank you, Mia. Now to the biggest story over the last few days. Earlier today, an F-22 flying between 60 and 65,000 feet, launching a missile strike, hitting a Chinese spy balloon as it was traveling out to sea. And now the hunt to recover what is left is underway. ABC's Derek Dennis breaks down the timeline of when the balloon was spotted to when it was finally taken down.
U.S. authorities searching for debris in the Atlantic Ocean after shooting down a Chinese surveillance balloon. Navy and Coast Guard ships establishing a security perimeter in U.S. waters. Earlier in the day, an F-22 firing a single missile, separating the payload from the balloon and plunging the two more than 60,000 feet into the Atlantic Ocean in U.S. waters.
They're going to be looking for the sensor package that was underneath that balloon. Remember that the administration said that this was a spy balloon, and so what was being used to spy? Was it cameras? Were there signal intelligence capabilities?
The operation kicked off just after 1 p.m. Eastern Saturday, with the FAA closing the airspace for parts of the Carolinas.
Due to national security, all aircraft are instructed to land as soon as possible.
Roughly 90 minutes later, the jet successfully taking out the balloon. President Biden, who approved the operation, praising the effort.
Order the Pentagon to shoot it down on Wednesday as soon as possible without doing damage to anyone on ground. We decided that the best time to do that was when we got over water.
The enormous balloon drifted for days, first entering American airspace over Alaska before heading southeast over Montana, Missouri, and the Carolinas. In the wake of the balloon shooting, the Chinese government threatening repercussions, calling it a serious violation of international practice.
But the real question here is why the Chinese decided to deliberately provoke the U.S. to go into sovereign U.S. airspace just before the first high-level meeting between two senior officials in years.
Derek Dennis, ABC News, New York.
Still to come on the Nightbeat, the cold and ice might be gone from South Texas, but not across the rest of the nation. How soon temperatures could thaw out in the areas most affected. Plus, another week, another restaurant with a low score from improper hand washing and warm food. We have the latest on health inspections in this week's Behind the Kitchen Door. Well, thousands of people descended upon downtown this morning, and so did members of a renowned mounted cavalry group that saddled up today to take part in the annual Western Heritage Parade and Cattle Drive. The 70 members of Texas A&M's Parsons Mounted Cavalry making their way along the parade route with 60 of their horses and mules. It is the only collegiate mounted cavalry unit in the nation. Senior class members of the organization are known for their artistry, in which they salute with their sabers. Members of the cavalry group say one reason they enjoy participating in the parade is to remind folks about American history.
We have people come from all walks of life, so it's amazing to celebrate the culture within our unit, and then to do that on a larger scale, like at the Western Heritage Parade today.
The annual parade and cattle drive usually signals the start of the rodeo, that it's right around the corner, and it did again this year because everything starts on Thursday. We've got a big special coming up Thursday night live from the rodeo, so stay tuned for that. But the rodeo parade, always one of my favorites. Yeah, I used to love taking my daughter down there. Now she's too big to go, so I don't get to go see it anymore.
It seems like such a good time, especially because, you know, rodeo is obviously such a big part of South Central Texas. So it looked like everybody had a wonderful time out there downtown earlier this morning. We had some fog out there this morning, but by the time the cattle drive started, a lot of that was able to break up. We actually saw more sunshine this afternoon, a few passing clouds, but overall daytime highs here in Bexar County today were warmer than what we saw yesterday and the day before that, as well as the day before that. Now, the good news is if you were enjoying this warming trend, the thawing out process compared to the incredibly cold conditions that we saw throughout the first half of the week, you're going to like tomorrow because that warming theme will continue with temperatures topping off in the upper 60s and even low 70s. Overall, it's going to be a nice end to the weekend here in South Central Texas. The humidity is going to continue to build, though, over the next couple of days, which means tomorrow and into Monday mornings, some additional areas of fog will certainly be a possibility. And that is all ahead of our next front, which moves in Tuesday and into Wednesday of next week. With the moisture in place, we could find some scattered rain along with that boundary. So we'll talk all about it, starting off, though, with the look at current conditions outside here tonight. 49 degrees over at SA International this 10 p.m. hour, so a chill definitely in the air. Dew points right now compared to where they were this time yesterday, a bit higher, and I do think we'll continue to find that over the next several days. South winds in place tomorrow, very breezy Monday and into Tuesday. That's what's going to pump in more of that Gulf moisture, allowing those dew points to climb. And then after we see that front move through for the second half of next week, we'll see some drier air punch back into the area as well. But again, because we do have that moisture slowly making its return, like this morning, I think tomorrow morning we could find some reduced visibility with patchy areas of fog developing, some of which could be dense in spots. So if you have any early Sunday morning plans, probably a good idea to give yourself a little bit of extra time out the door to get where you need to be. And really the extra layer will be needed first thing in the morning, but not as we head into the afternoon. I think for the most part, we'll start off in the 40s in and around the San Antonio area, around 44 by 7 a.m. here here officially in town. 41 in Bulverde, some upper 30s possible across the hill country tomorrow morning for places like Kerrville, Bandera, stretching over to Utopia, maybe even across our far western counties as well. But again, after we see more of that fog develop early tomorrow morning, that looks to break up by late morning, and then more peaks of sunshine in store for your Sunday afternoon. Those daytime highs in the upper 60s, low 70s. On Monday, how about mid 70s for those daytime highs after starting off in the low 50s here in town? Will be pretty breezy there. That continues into our Tuesday, and that's also when we'll start talking about those rain chances as well. While we don't have a whole lot going on here in south central Texas and really across the Lone Star State tonight, a different story across the Pacific Northwest. There's an area of low pressure that is approaching the west coast. That's going to move farther down to the southeast here over the next few days. And as that syncs up with additional moisture, again, we'll start to see some scattered showers across parts of the area. Not for everybody on Tuesday. We see that front then move through, maybe a few showers lingering into the first half of the day on Wednesday. Temperatures comfortable to end next week, and especially as we get ready to kick off things at the AT&T Center next Thursday, Tim. Overall, conditions looking pretty good.
No roller coaster rides this week. We're just riding bowls starting on Thursday.
There you go.
All right. Thanks, Mia. All right, Andrew, we now know who will be calling plays for the Cowboys offense next season.
Well, we already knew that. Mike McCarthy's gotten the keys on that regard, but now we have a new offensive coordinator who's going to be designing the plays. When we come back, we'll introduce you to a familiar family name, plus top 10 showdown in Kansas State ended up being a good one for the Longhorns. Got that too next.
Pro football coverage, powered by Davis Law Firm.
Goodbye, Kellen Moore. Hello, Brian Schottenheimer. The Dallas Cowboys announced that Schottenheimer will be their new offensive coordinator this afternoon. Head coach Mike McCarthy is still expected to call plays this season. Schottenheimer is the son of former NFL coach Marty Schottenheimer. At 49 years old, Brian spent last season as a consultant with the Cowboys. He was the Jaguars passing game coordinator in 2021 and has previous experience with the Seahawks, Colts, and Jets. The Houston Texans are dealing with their own coaching change. After 2 straight seasons of one-year stopgaps in David Culley and Lovie Smith, Houston now turns to DeMeco Ryans. Ryans was a former Texan himself, drafted 33rd overall in the 2006 NFL Draft. During his time as a player, Ryans played for a bunch of different head coaches, and he was with 2 of them during their first years on the job, Gary Kubiak and Chip Kelly. What impact have they had on his mentality heading into this job as a first-year head coach himself?
I take things that I learned from all these men, and that's how I feel like you build an organization, right? You build a first-class organization, right? You protect your players, be a great teacher, motivate them, and do everything to be adaptable, to change, and make sure we have the best things for our players when it comes to sports science and technology.
Ryan signed a 6-year contract, which does imply he's been given a chance to succeed. Our San Antonio Spurs bid farewell to the AT&T Center with a hard-fought loss to the 76ers last night. That marks 8 straight defeats for the Silver and Black, but it's not all doom and gloom. Rookie Malachi Branham has found his rhythm, scoring 48 points over the last 2 games. He's the first Spurs rookie to accomplish that since Tim Duncan in 1998. He and the rest of the rookies will now get their first taste of the rodeo road trip, a gauntlet of 9 straight road games that won't see San Antonio return home until March 2nd. How do you feel about that, Malachi?
I don't know what to pack. I know I'm probably going to bring like 2 suitcases and just ask the guys because they've been on a rodeo trip. So, I don't know what to pack, but I'm probably going to start packing tonight. Yeah, it's going to be exciting, though. It's going to be exciting.
Spurs will now hit the game for that road trip starting on Monday night against the Bulls at 7 p.m. UTSA men's basketball team hit the road themselves this afternoon to take on Middle Tennessee, trying to snap their own skid of 9 games. Good start for the Roadrunners. Jacob Germany drives and banks in a floater for a 14-7 lead in the first half, but the Blue Raiders answered back late in the frame. DeAndre Dishman gets the tough basket to fall. Middle Tennessee leads 35-29 at the break, and they win at 84-59. Same matchup on the women's side at the combo this afternoon. This one's a tight battle late. Roadrunners down by 1. Alyssa Coleman hits the long jumper for a 51-50 lead. Then a little later, running the break, Haley Atwood finishes with the lay-in, and the lead is now 3 points. Last but not least, Jordan Jenkins finishes with a tough basket of her own, part of an 8-0 run, and UTSA wins a tough one against a ranked opponent, 58-53. Top 10 showdown in Manhattan today. Number 10, Texas versus number 7, Kansas State. Men's basketball. Longhorns down by 1, under a minute to play. Sir Jabari Rice spins in the paint and banks it in. What a move. Texas goes up 67-66. Wildcats have 2 shots to tie or take the lead. No dice on this last-ditch 3, and the Longhorns win it 69-66. Number 11, Baylor hosted Texas Tech today. And the Bears had a field day in the second half, hitting 10 3-pointers. Jalen Bridges had a team-high 18 points. Keontae George added 17, and the Bears run away to win it 89-62. Coming up later in sports, berths at the state were on the line in 2 regional championship swim meets. Records fell. A lot of great stuff to get to. We'll all have it on in the next half hour.
We'll dive into the deep end with you in the next half hour. We'll see you then, Andrew.
Good one, Tim.
Still to come, the cold and ice conditions turning into a fatal situation in some parts of the country. The areas affected and how much longer that cold's going to be sticking around. And touching food with bare hands, no hot water at the hand washing station, and raw food found on the floor. Sounds like BKD's coming your way next.